Hello guys, my name is Kaushik and welcome back to Lambda Test. In this video, we're going to learn about the Actions class in Selenium. So what is Actions class? If you see in our Selenium WebDriver, so far we have used like send keys, .click functions, selecting a drop down using the select class, using the functions like visible text, select using index, right? But we didn't have any advanced user interactions like doing the drag and drop or move to element or like context click. So we are going to focus on that today. Okay, so first of all, we learn like what is advanced user interactions and why we have to handle all those stuff. Then followed by we'll learn few of the methods like move to element, drag and drop, and also drag and drop by the x-axis or the y-axis. And followed by we'll also learn like few of the methods available in the actions class. So let's get started now. Okay, so let us see few of the examples for advanced user interaction. So if you go to this letcode.in/test, here you can see like drag, there is a particular page. So if you go inside that, here you can see like here we have particular element and I can move it anywhere within this particular kind of frame. Okay, so this all of course we cannot do with the help of send keys or click action or select class, right? So we have to use the actions class that is available in the Selenium. And followed by another example will be this one. So here we have a source one and here we have to drop it here like this. So as soon as we do, we can see like we are getting dropped. So this kind of user interactions is known as advanced user interactions, or maybe like we can call this as well. So if you go to this particular lambdatest.com, here you can see like we have platform, resources, developers, right? Actually I'm just hovering my mouse. I mean I'm doing the hover, I'm not doing any click action. So of course we cannot do like dot click to interact with this particular elements. So we have to make use of the actions class. I hope that makes sense to you why we have to use the actions class and as well as what is advanced user interaction. Now let's get started with the coding part. So as usual, we are going to execute in the Lambda test platform. So here I have my setup, that is nothing but using the desired capabilities and the remote WebDriver. We have given like build name as a AUI and the test name as actions, and I'm going to execute in Windows 11 and the Chrome browser with the 98 version. Of course you can change these values, you already know about this. This is extremely flexible, we can do as per our requirement. And then followed by I have this tear down, that is close, just to quit my browser. Okay, so now let's write some test. So first of all, I'm going to bring up my a test. So public void, I'll just name it like move. Okay, and then followed by, of course I want to get the test from test.ng. Okay, now first of all we already have the driver initialization and object is created, so we'll use that. Okay, so driver dot get, and we'll move to the lambdatest.com. okay, so I'm going to copy the URL and paste over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mouse over on this developers. Okay, so first of all, of course we have to get the element, so I'm going to right click and inspect, and here I can see like it's a button and that has a text called developers. Okay, so I'm going to use the let text path just to copy the X path. Okay, so here you can see we have like button text equal to developers. I'm going to copy and paste over here. So here you can see like we got that exact element. So I'm going to now find the element. So driver dot find element by dot X path and then followed by the value. Okay, now we'll store this as a web element. Let's name this like devs. Okay, now of course I have to use the actions class, right? So to use the actions class, as I said, it's a class, so of course we have to call the constructor and we have to create the object. So here we'll say like actions builder equal to new, then followed by the actions, and here we have to import these actions from the selenium.interaction. So this is the package name org.openqa.selenium.interactions. And as soon as I do that, here we can see the error because of course we have to pass the driver in the constructor. So here I will say like driver. Okay, that's it, very cool. Now if I say like builder dot, here you can see like we have a lot of functions. We'll go one by one in a moment. Before that we'll try to complete the move to element. So here if I say like move to element, which is nothing but the mouse hover action. Okay, so here you can select move to element devs, that is my web element, and then followed by we have to say perform. If we don't say perform, actions class will never work. So perform is like mandatory. Whenever we do some actions, we have to use this perform. Now, in few of the website or few of the blogs or even few of the YouTube videos, you might have seen like they will use like build.perform, which is correct, nothing wrong about it. But we don't have to use this build function explicitly. Why? In the sense like the perform function internally calls the build function. Just to show you, I'm going to get into this actions class, and if you give control plus O, you can see list of the functions, and here I'm going to call the perform function. So here you can select build.perform. So build is internally called within the perform itself, so we don't have to say like build.perform. Okay, now let's go and get started here. Okay, that's it, very simple. It's very simple task. What we'll do, as soon as I do mouse hover, I can see some API thing here, right? So I'm going to inspect this one, and this is basically S3 with text called API. So I'm going to take this XPath here, and which is fine, I believe. Yeah, so let's go and do the click action. So if I click on this API, what will happen? It will take me to this particular URL, right? So we are going to do the asset as well. So here I will say like driver dot find element by dot XPath and the value. Okay, and then followed by we will say the click action. Of course we want to click on it. Okay, and then we have to verify the URL. So driver dot get current URL, and that's going to return me a string here, so I can store it like current URL, and then followed by, of course, we are going to do the assertion. Okay, so here I will say like assert from org.stng, and then I can say like assert equals, and here the first one is basically my actual, correct? So if I mouse over on this function, you can see like the first argument is nothing but my actual, and second one is the expected. So here I will pass my actual as current URL. Okay, and the expected is this one. Of course we will just copy and paste over here, that is fine. Okay, so if I mouse over on this, you can see like string actual, string expected. So assert equals is a overloaded functions. We can pass the boolean, we can pass the string, we can pass the character, we can pass array. So a lot of things we can pass over here. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing. Only thing we have to remember is whenever we want to do like mouse hover action, we have to use the function called move to element that is coming from the actions class, and in the constructor, of course, we have to pass the driver. Okay, so that's it, very simple. I'm going to execute this now. So right click and then followed by run as test. Okay, hopefully it should work, or else we'll fix it up. So let's go to the Lambda test platform here, and so here you can see like we got the AUI, that is my build name, and within that we have this our test as a actions. Okay, so let's go and let it complete. We'll see the video. Yeah, it's got completed now. So let's go to this particular test, and here we got our video, and here itself we can see like there is no error. Of course it means it have worked, right? But still I want to show you the video, so let's see that. It's navigated to the particular website and mouse over is happened, then it click on the API and you can verify the URL, right? That's it, very simple thing. Actions class is really easy. Okay, now let's go back to the second learning. Now we are going to focus on the drag and drop. Okay, so here I'm going to make this like enable equal to false. That means next time it will not execute. Okay, so here I'm going to write one more test. Okay, so here we have a function called drag drop, and of course it's a test. So we're going to do the same thing. So first of all, we'll go navigate to that particular URL. So here I can say like driver.get, and then followed by we are going to perform this drag and drop. So I'm going to copy this and paste over here. Okay, now here we want to drag this source to the target element. So of course we need two web elements, right? So I'm going to take the locator for both the element. Let's go. So here we can say like we have a ID called Draggable. So I'm going to copy that, and here I will say like driver dot find element, and then followed by by dot id and the value. Okay, so this is going to be my source element, so I will just name it like source, and then followed by we have the target, right? So if I go and inspect this one, you can see like we have a id called droppable, so I'm going to copy that, and here it's going to be same only. So driver dot find element by dot id the value, and we are going to store that as a web element, so let's name it like target element. That's it, right? Now what we have to do, of course you have guessed, we have to create the builder, that is actions class object, right? So we are going to copy and paste over here, then followed by I'm going to say builder dot drag and drop. So here you can say like we have two functions, first one is drag and drop and second one is drag and drop by. Please remember, this is not an overloaded functions, in the sense like the function name will be exactly same but the parameter is going to different, but in this case we have two method names with the different parameters. Okay, so I'm going to use the drag and drop now. Okay, so this is my source element and this is my target element, and of course we have to call the function perform or else it will not work. Okay, so that's it, we are pretty much done. And just to show you the output, I'm going to give a thread.slip so that we can make sure that the changes happen. Okay, so I will add like 5000, that is 5 seconds basically, right? Okay, now let's run this one. Okay, so I'm going to right click and run as test-ng test. So let's go to the lambda test platform now, and we don't have to really refresh the page. Whenever there is an execution, the page will automatically fetch those details and it will do the stuff for us, which is really handy. Okay, so here you can select we got another actions, so this is my test case name. Of course you can change as per your requirement, just for the demo I have kept as it is. So if I go and play this video now, so here you can see like the source element has been dropped within the target element. Okay, and the drop text is also changed. If you want to make sure, you can do the assertion as well. Okay, so that's it, it's pretty easy one. Okay, now we'll go with another example. Okay, so here we have source element and target element, which is fine, we can just call the drag and drop. But if you go to the previous page, that is drag, here you can select we have only the source element but we don't have any target. So how to do it? Okay, so it's like just an assumption, we are going to move this element like maybe one or like from here to here. So we are going to move based on the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay, so how to do it? It's going to be very simple, let me show you. Okay, next thing we are going to learn about the draggable. In my website the draggable is not working, I think that's the website UI issue. So I will take the example from this jQueryui.com. Okay, so here you can we can grab this URL and then followed by, so I'll say like driver dot get and the URL. Okay, and here you can say like we have only the source element, we don't have any target, we are just going to move it like some point. Okay, so let's go and inspect, and as soon as I do right click, I can see like here we have like view page source, view frame source and reload frame. That means of course this element is within the frame. Okay, so I'm going to right click and inspect, and if I search for like /iframe, you can see like we have 1 of 1. That means of course we have only one frame, and if there is a frame, of course we have to switch to the frame first, right? So here I'm going to select driver dot switch to dot frame. Since we have only one frame, I can give the 0, so that should work fine. Okay, now we are going to perform the drag and drop. Okay, so let's see how to do it. It's going to be very similar to the previous one, like drag and drop, but of course we have to pass the x-axis on the y-axis. So we are going to take a look on that. So first of all, we'll use our builder. So I'm going to copy this line here and paste over here, then followed by I will say like builder dot drag and drop by, and we have to first give the source element. Okay, so this is going to be my source. I'm going to inspect this one, and here we can select we have a id called draggable, so I'm going to copy that, and here we'll say like driver dot find element by dot id and the value. Let's store this as a web element. I'm going to name it like source element, and this is going to be my first parameter here. Now just to show you, I'm going to make it like 50 and this may be like 20, and of course at the end we have to call the perform function. Okay, now let's go and right click and run this. Here also I have thread.sleep just to show you the output that is not required at all. Okay, so let's go to the lambda test platform, and if I go back to the builds, here we can see like we got the another test which is running now. Let's go inside that one, and it executed completed, and let's play this video. So here you can see like it moved, right? So from source to it just moved to a particular location. Okay, now we have moved based on the values like 50 and 20. Of course we don't have any target, so we are just trying to move it around within the frame itself. But if you have to do this dynamically, like based on some element location, we can do that. It's very simple. Okay, so we'll take the source element first, and in Selenium we have a function called get location that is going to return the point. Okay, so it's going to return me the point. Now here I can say like location dot get x, so it will give me the x axis, the x coordination of that particular element. So I can store it like int x. Similarly, I can get the y axis, so get location, get y, and I'm going to store that within the int y. Now here what can I do is, so based on the position of that particular box, that source element, I'm going to move from source element to maybe some point. So here I can say like x plus maybe like 20 or 30, something like that. Okay, and similarly here also like y plus. So from the box value, the coordination, we are adding some coordination, so we can expect that will move based on some location. So let's go and run this now one more time. And here we got the another test, so let's go inside that one, and already it completed. Okay, so let's go and play this video now. So here also you can select the box has moved from one point to another. So if you want to move far away, of course you can increase the x and y value, like the x plus some value and y plus some value. Okay, so that's it. Actions class is very simple. Okay, so other than action like drag and drop, move to element, we have a lot of useful feature as well, but of course I cannot show demo for each and every function, so I'm just going to give you the walkthrough. Okay, so if I go to this actions class and if I give like control O, here you can see like we will get all the methods. Let's see the very useful methods. Okay, so here you can see like we have actions class, the constructor, and if you want to do like key down, key up, left key, right key, of course you can do with the key down and key up. Here also we have send keys, which is going to be very similar to the send keys in WebDriver, that is like element.send keys. Here also it's going to be very same. And then followed by we have click and hold. In some application like older application, you have to click and hold, then only we'll get something, right? For example, let me show you this particular example here. So here you can select we have button hold. If I do click action, nothing will happen, but if I just click and hold, you can see like something is going to change now. Come on, change. Yeah, so when I do click and hold, you can see like button has been long pressed. So to perform all these actions, we have to use the actions class. Okay, so that is what the click and hold function is used to. And then followed by we have like release. Release is basically like whenever we do key press and we have to release it, right? So for example, you are clicking on the shift key and then you have to release the shift key, right? So we can use this like release function. And then followed by we can use the click, which is similar to WebDriver click. And these are private methods, so of course we cannot use this. Only green color is public. And then followed by double click, you know it, right? So double click, move to element we saw, and then by move by offset, if you want to move element based on the coordination, you can do that. And the context click is very useful. Context click is nothing but the right click. So in our mouse we do the right click, right? So for that we use this context click, and drag and drop, pause is there, tick is there. Tick is also similar to click action, and build and perform. Okay, so that's all about the actions class. Here few things we have to remember. Actions class mostly does not give us any exception in the sense like we are trying to perform the drag and drop, but if the drag and drop is not working, we won't get that exception. Okay, but of course there are two exceptions from the actions class. One is like out of bound. I don't remember the exact exception name, but we have a certain limits, like if you are going to give the x and y coordination very long value, then we'll get that error. Okay, so if I remember, probably I will leave the exception name in the YouTube comments. You can check it out later. Okay, so that's it from my side. I hope you have learned this actions class in very well mannered, and if you want to practice, you can use the Lambda test platform, the website, learning playground website, or else also you can use the LetCode.in. Okay, so that's it from my side. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon. If you have any queries, please feel free to ask in the comment. I'll be happy to reply back. Thanks for watching. See you. Tata, bye bye.